right.
Alexa, set an alarm for 30 minutes from now. Hey, everybody. Friends and family.
Hi, everybody.
We are going to talk about the life and lesson and rules for success by influential people, and this influential person is The Rock. The journey, the teachable moments, and the 10 rules for success cultivated from the life and wisdom of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So I kind of picked him because I feel like he's got a really good story where his life wasn't always success, success, success. It was like learning through failure. Don't you think?
Yes.
And really, the thing about people that learn through failure, not only do they learn through failure, character's built through that. And you can be as successful as you want, but I feel like you're a better successful person when you have a good character, and those are usually life lessons that you learn that build your character up. I think, I feel like I'm a better person because I failed at a couple things.
Life is a good teacher.
Yes. So, we're going to share, this book is super easy to read. I feel like a third grader or above could read it. What do you think?
Yes.
We're going to give this to the young people that are in our lives, and we're just going to ask them to share it with somebody else. And if your child happens to get one of these books, just read it with them. If he, needs your help, why not? It's going to be like 1 week where you spend 15 minutes a night with them and you're done, And it's a good story, especially, again, for a young man or a young boy that maybe, you might know, like failure might be a next lesson in life for him. Let's not make him quit just because of that. Let's give him a story, because failure is going to be part of life, and it's part of your life at all ages. So, to begin, here's my ticket. It's a little cool weathered. So, the introduction here is the early life. And they have like little quotes at the beginning. We're not going to go over everything, but we're going to cover the rules and some other stuff. Mildred is going to cover that with you. Don't be afraid to be ambitious about your goals. Hard work never stops. Neither should your dreams. Dwayne Johnson. So we'll read all these quotes at the beginning of the chapters. And so his life is... Now, did anybody understand the part where it says they got kicked off the island? His family had to leave the island. Now, so we don't know why they had to leave the island, but he is from Hawaii. And he has that, he is a real Hawaiian though.
Yes.
What are those people called?
He has some, I think, Maori or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Because he also went to New Zealand, so
Okay.
he is part of the
Okay,
Maori, whatever.
so he has some culture behind him, and it's island culture. I don't know everything about it, but I mean, definitely, like, if you're in the culture, check him out, And plus, I know, like, he went to Hawaii to help those people that were fighting for their sacred mountain, and, he's, like, still involved in people and in his community. So,
Yeah, his parents is Nova Scotians and Samoans.
okay, yes. So that,
Polynesian, the Maoris are part of this, and so he's part of the black, what is it, football, not football, what do you call it?
soccer.
No.
Football?
No, but more rough, it's rougher than football.
Like with the stick?
No, it's similar to football, but they have, instead of helmet, these little leather caps on, and so,
Oh, well, we don't know, because I'm not in the sports, so
Rugby,
I'm sorry. Rugby. Okay, yeah, rugby. I was like, no, I don't know how to help you. So, now you know my secret, I don't know a lot about sports, except for basketball. So, it tells you here, like, he's from a family that stayed together, his mom and his dad. His dad was a wrestler, and so were other people in his family. They were wrestlers. They were wrestlers that just worked at being wrestlers all their lives. They weren't rich wrestlers, because that era of accumulating a lot of money, like Rock actually had something to do with that. Where when you were a wrestler where you could accumulate money, like back in the day, people were wrestlers, but they were just like getting paid like a school teacher.
More or less
You know what I mean?
training, and so
Yeah.
training others.
So one of the things is his dad never allowed him to go to the gym, even though he always wanted to, until he was 13 years old, which I think is great, because your body's not ready for weightlifting until you're a certain age anyway. So that's one of his things. And then I think the first thing that he did is football, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So he played football in high
I
school.
think he tried something else before football.
I feel like he did too.
And he didn't do it he wasn't very good at it. But I can't
I
remember.
realized football could provide him with a ticket out of financial problems.
Yeah, but he tried something else before football.
Was it wrestling?
No. I can't remember what it was.
So his story kind of is like, his family doesn't have a lot of money. You know, they were evicted from their apartment at some point. So at some point in his life, they were homeless too. So from early on teens,
He was part of the theft ring before.
yeah, he had made some choices that weren't good. Oh Lord Jesus, I don't know what that was. He had made some choices that, I don't know what, that, you know, weren't the best choices. It must be in the other room. Whatever it fell. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. It's just nice. And then he decided he was gonna stop doing that, because he decided like because I think it was, he didn't like how it hurt his family. Isn't that what happened? Like something happened where he was more conscious of,
Didn't he got arrested, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, the next day after being released from
There
police
you go.
custody, he went to school and got into an alteration with another kid. And then after returning from the suspension, he decided that the student's bathroom was smelly. Oh, and then he got in trouble with a teacher.
But that's the teacher that asked him to join the football team,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Then the teacher had a talk with him and so, and he really got a close relationship with his teacher then, because he was
Yeah.
trying to help him and he saw potential in him.
Yeah, he was
Not
teased.
only in football, potential all over, also
Yes, and
academically.
And I feel like sometimes you have to look at kids with a bigger picture, not like where they are right now, but where they can be. Because we're all at different stages in our lives in places where maybe we shouldn't be, but that doesn't mean we're gonna stay there. And it's up to us as adults to see potential in children and steer them closer to something better.
He went and apologized to the teacher.
Yes,
The
he
teacher
did.
accepted his apology,
Mhm.
and that's,
Yeah.
He was teased a lot in school too, because he was a lot bigger than all the other children, and they teased him, and bullied him and all of that too, so.
Yeah.
I think that's what caused him to start having
Being
anger
rougher,
issues and,
yeah.
yeah.
And then, you know, The Rock, he did great in high school. He got drafted to a college team. So he played in Miami?
yeah, I think so.
I think he played in Miami. I thought it was orange and yellow. I watched a little video on it too. And then he got,
went back to Miami after the hurricanes. The head coach was mad. Yeah, he was in Miami, but he was.
so he got hurt. And he had this dream and he had this work ethic. And he was like one of those people that got up every day, went in the gym, did what he was supposed to do, was dedicated to what he was going to do. Because in his mind, he was like, this is the ticket out of poverty. My family's never going to be homeless again. I'm going to be dedicated to this because I see that it can have a positive result on my life. And then he got hurt. And it changed him a little bit too, you know, because he was like, wow. And then he recovered from that, and then he wasn't able, because of that, to go into the NFL. He had to go to a league in Canada, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Here's the hardship.
He felt sorry for himself. That's when the coach put him straight and said, from now on you have to attend every class. You know, he was really, that you disappointed your team and us, even if you are hurt.
Yeah.
You don't just run off and don't come back to college for a month or two.
Yeah. So they pulled him back even after that to try to keep him encouraged. But here's the thing, then when he graduates from college, he doesn't get to go in the NFL because he was hurt and he didn't have that great last season, you know what I mean? And you can't make up for it once that opportunity passes, so he went to Canada on that league. He made $200 some a month. Was it a month or a week?
The weekly salary was less than 200.
Yeah, less than
Okay,
200.
so less than 200, and all his friends that he went to college with are making millions of dollars now. And he's stuck with $200 a week, and he's got a family to support, and he sends money home to, you know, his mom and his dad and stuff. You know, he's grounded in his family. He's a family person. He used to go to all their after extracurricular functions just to get free meals, remember?
Yeah.
How it said that in the book, I was like, wow, but yeah, you have to do what you have to do, so you're not spending money on food.
Yeah, and it said he was unable to buy a bed for himself. He found a mattress in a dumpster.
Yep. And then when he came back, he was done, when he just finally decided, I'm done with this, I have to try to do something else. He wanted to get into wrestling. He went back home, his dad got him an airline ticket home. He had $7 in his pocket, that's what he ends up calling his business, which he is running now with his ex-wife. Which again, like, he's a family man and he's a relationship man. Even if something's over, he's still maintaining relationships, which is a great thing to do in life. And then he starts training with his dad, and his dad gets him ready for this wrestling. And then when he was wrestling, he wanted to be the nice guy, because he is a nice guy, but it wasn't really working for him in the wrestling world. And he did that for what you'd say, 2-3 years?
Yes.
And then they finally were like, dude, you gotta do something different because you're not bringing it, you know what I mean? So
Well, he got hurt, and so wrestling, he got hurt, so he had to take some time off from wrestling.
Yeah.
And then that's when he decided that he was gonna reinvent himself.
So go ahead, Mom, read the chapter 2 quote. These quotes are great.
When life puts you in a touchy situation, don't say, why me? Just say, try me.
I like that, that's cute.
Yeah.
So then again, he's hurt, and he has to make a decision about what he's gonna do, and he trains again, he comes back stronger, and then he changes his persona to The Rock, which I think was a tribute to his father. And then he's kind of like this arrogant, tough guy, sometimes good, sometimes bad. He had a little clique that he was with, and then the WWE starts generating all this money. He is, people are buying into this, and he is making not only himself very successful, the company successful, the people he partners up with very successful. He pretty much ran that WWE industry. He took it away from Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I remember he was a wrestler when Torsten was like 3 years old, and then it seemed like after that, The Rock took over for almost 10 years. Then he started doing movies, then he would just do some special appearance, and I think his last thing was the John Cena showdown between the two of them that he did. But I bet you he still goes, I mean, I don't keep up with the wrestling, but I think he still makes his little appearances. That's,
And he took on Hulk Hogan.
yeah,
Oh, yeah, that was one of my favorites.
yeah. My favorite was him and John Cena, but everybody's got their own. And then, so we're gonna read the quote for chapter 3. My work, my goals, my life is like a treadmill, and there's no stop button on my treadmill. Once I get on, I just keep going. Dwayne Johnson. And his work ethic is like, I think he gets up at 4 a.m., he runs, he comes home, he eats, he goes to the gym for an hour, then he starts his day by 7 a.m. But every day, and I feel like that's a thing for successful people too, start by taking care of yourself, then go into your business or your work or whatever it is that you've gotta do.
Have a routine.
Yeah, and I think that helps you, and that's why I do the fitness thing, because I feel like it doesn't matter what your dreams are, if you're not gonna stay fit and healthy, you can't make that happen anyhow.
Scorpion King, I guess, was a big thing.
And that was like one of Torsten's favorite movie when he was a little kid too. We still watch it all the time. Like, it's on Netflix, and we're DVD people, so we still watch it on the CDs that he has. I mean, he's after movie, he's very successful. The last one, I think me and DeMarco were just watching it, is that Fast and the Furious Takeoff.
Oh, yes.
That's real good too.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love the Fast and Furious series.
And he was part of that series.
Yes.
Everything he does is like golden. But I think it's part of his personality and his work ethic and how he gets up and he gives it his all. So chapter 4.
And how he cares about other people.
Exactly, and how he doesn't take all the credit for everything. It's not necessary for him to be successful. So chapter 4 is rules for success. We're gonna let Mildred do that because she said she was gonna do it.
Okay, rules for success. Number 1, it says be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else, because it's too hard to try to
Yes.
copy somebody else. It's easier just to be yourself. And when you learn who you are and you become who you are, it's easier. So that's what he had to do. He had to learn, not to copy himself or try to, recreate himself after somebody else. But once he realized who he was, then he became that person, and it didn't matter what other people thought about him because he knew who he was.
Every original idea he had to restart was successful.
He swapped his nickname Rocky to his famous name of today, The Rock. And number 2, surround yourself with the right people.
Yes, that is so important.
It is so important to have the right people, because if you have negative people around you and you're trying to accomplish something, you know, that you already feel is difficult for you or you never did before, and you got negative people, they're going to tear you down, discourage you, and you're going to give up. But if you got, you know, people in your corner saying, you can do it, you know, I got your back, you know, you're going to put forth that effort, even more of an effort to try to accomplish that, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
So always make sure you have the right people in your corner. Number 3, have incredible work ethic. You can't be a person that's lazy, that don't care about how people perceive you at work, or, you know, halfway doing things. You have to have a spirit of excellence, making sure that whatever you accomplish, whatever you set out to do, that you do it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
Not anybody else's ability, but your own, because your best is your best. So always make sure you have a good work ethic. And then number 4, never give up. No matter what obstacles, what difficulties come, whatever you have to face, don't give up. Not saying that you're not going to get knocked down, something might get postponed, you might have to start all over again, but that's fine. You know, my mom used to always tell us, nothing beats a failure but a try.
Yes.
So keep trying, reinvent, you know, recreate, do whatever you need to do, but don't give up.
Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Believe in your product, your talent.
Yes. Number 5 is find purpose. That's what we're here for. That's why God created us and put us on this earth. Everyone has a purpose, and we have to learn what our purpose is. And once you learn what your purpose is in life, you have a better life. You have an easier life because you know you're doing. And then it's not hard because you enjoy what you're doing, because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yes.
In life. It says your values will shape your sense of purpose and will determine your life goals. Having a sense of purpose is important, as it's a key ingredient for having a meaningful and successful life. So number 6, embrace failures.
Yes.
We're all going to fail, but that doesn't mean you have to give up. Just get up, dust yourself off, and try again. We might have to do some little tweaking on whatever it is that we're trying to accomplish. But failure does not,
Failure builds character.
Yes.
You will be a better, anything you're trying to do with a failure, trust me. Don't look for it, but accept it and make yourself a better person when it happens.
Use it. It says failure is life's greatest teacher.
Yes.
Those who avoid it will make the same safe choices repeatedly and will always remain boxed into a comfort zone
Yes.
if you're afraid to fail. Number 7, just bring it. Just, you got an idea, you got a dream, just bring it to the table. Research, do whatever it is that you need to do to see if this is something that you can do. Sometimes we'll start a project and we're like, well, this is not for me, but you wouldn't have never known that if you had never tried it. So just bring it, just try it.
You have to take a risk once in a while.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Number 8, earn respect.
Yes.
A lot of us think that, people are supposed to just respect us because of who we are. But you have to earn respect.
Yes.
And earning respect is giving respect. When you respect others, others will respect you back.
Yeah.
Okay? And he says here, you always need to work hard at maintaining respect. Once it's lost, it is not easy to get back. Number 9, be persistent. Don't give up. Don't be a quitter. Just because things are not going as quickly as you thought they should be going, or things are harder than you want them to be, don't give up. Be persistent. I'm not going to quit.
So me and Mildred were just
should-
talking.
We should send a book of this to our president.
Yes.
To earn respect, He needs to learn to listen, like rule number 10, you know.
So I would say this with persistence, like if you have a vision or a desire or there's something that you want to do or you prayed about something, I just like to use this in my prayer life. If you pray about something, then you have to believe that. And then you have to follow through with that part that's your part of that prayer. Like for me personally, like I'll be like, oh Lord, you know, I want you to bless me with a sold out paint night. I don't know when that's going to happen. So every paint night I have to prepare that it's going to be sold out. Then I will get that blessed. I've got it a couple times. I've been blessed a couple times like that. But you don't get blessed unless you do it, even though the last time one person showed up. The time before that, nobody showed up. You got to call your mom. Mom, can you come sit with me? I'm really lonely. Did nobody show up? Like you're going to do things in life and it's not always going to be a sellout. But if you're praying for a sellout, then you have to be persistent and constantly do it as if your prayer will be fulfilled today, and then it will be eventually. But I just feel like that goes like, if you're a prayer, just, you have to believe in your prayer, even though you may not see it immediately. But some people are blessed tremendously and they're going to constantly get, you know, that.
Right.
But
Here it says, persistence is the ability to keep on going even when things get difficult.
yes,
So even though it might get difficult, keep going anyway.
that's right.
And then number 10,
This is so important.
learn to listen.
Yes.
It's very important that we have the ability to listen. It says, an ability to listen is vital for good communication and to understand the mind and desires of the other person. So, if
Which
you're
is
doing,
teamwork.
yeah, if you're doing all the talking and you won't give that other person an opportunity to share how they're feeling or what they're thinking, you're gonna miss some important information, and that's not good communication.
No. But go ahead and read that quote at the beginning of chapter 4.
Think back 5 years ago.
Yeah, you want to read that, Mom?
I don't know, whichever.
Go ahead.
Okay, think back 5 years ago. Think of where you are at today. Think ahead 5 years and what you want to accomplish. Be unstoppable.
Yes. So, right, this right here, I mean, you could use this in church and really get some testimonies here, but we're not gonna constantly do that, but I will say this, like, 5 years ago, I was still divorced. Now I'm happily married. That was something that I wanted 5 years ago. So I had to live like I wanted to be married in order for that to happen. And 5 years from now, I just want to continue to live a blessed life. But I mean, practice that. That's part of being grateful. Like, see yourself where you want to be, where you have been, and where you are right now. It's like, and find the good in all those phases in your life because they build your character and make you a better person. So I just, like, I love that. I had to read that number 4 because if you don't reflect like that, it's hard to move forward. It's okay to be like, man, that was a sad time in my life. You know, like, that's okay. But think about those things too. Like, look how far God's carried you. It's so good to practice that, you know, at least once a week, but try it daily. It's great.
Yeah.
You want to read 5, Mom?
One of the most important things you can accomplish is being yourself.
Yes. And part of my
Not copying someone or being like someone, just be who you are.
You
And
know-
be proud of what you are.
Yes. And part of being yourself is being comfortable with yourself. You really know when you've accomplished that in life, when you're very comfortable by yourself. Like, when you're by yourself, like, you can read a book. Or you're, you know, like, you're past that point where you're like, I'm bored, I'm fidgety, I don't know what to do unless I have 5,000 people around me. Because you haven't figured out how to be yourself yet. Like, part of being yourself is enjoying quiet moments with yourself. Not all the time. I mean, you can still be social, but you have to be comfortable with yourself too.
And you have to be happy with yourself before you can be happy with other people.
Yes.
Otherwise, if you're not happy, you drag them down too.
Yeah, I agree. And then, final words. I mean, I think we're not gonna read the final words, but that's pretty much the book. So this book is super easy to read with someone. I encourage you to read it with a young man, but dude, I'm a woman and I think he's awesome, you know, and if I had young girls, I'd be sharing this book with them as well. But I think the rock story is awesome because it teaches from failure and it teaches from a point of he wasn't like the perfect kid. He was the kid that was getting in trouble. He did some thievery, you know what I mean? But look at him now. He's got great team ethics. He knows how to work with people. He's a collaborator. You know, he's not just built his own empire. Come on, he's his company. He's running it with his ex-wife.
Yes.
You know, like he has learned how to keep relationships right even when they move to a different level in his life. That's a big step. Not a lot of people can say, like, I can work things out, you know, with other people, even though I'm not with other people anymore.
And he's given to all these different
Yes,
charities.
he's very charitable.
Yes.
And I feel like that's part of success too. Like you'd be amazed
Give
how
back.
your success will leap and bound when you're willing to donate and give to other people. I mean, a lot of people, you know, but that's part of young businesses have to do that a lot. You have to give a lot away in order to eventually build clientele through, which at the beginning might have been charity, you know?
Samoan people gave him the noble title of Sayuli by Malieto Tana, whatever, Pili II, which is the Samoan king.
Awesome, yeah.
To keep in touch with his Samoan roots. Where
Yes.
there's two Samoan tattoos, a Samoan Krita tattoo and the tattoo of the bull skull. Dwayne is also a dedicated supporter of Samoan national rugby team. That's what I read.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he's like really into his culture. You know, he's in the mainstream, but he's still really reflecting and supporting his culture, like where
Yeah.
he comes from. I think that's so important, you know?
Yes.
He doesn't deny his roots.
Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's great.
I
So-
like it. I like it that because he's, you know, he gives to all these different charities and helping children.
Yes.
Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Red Cross.
Yeah, I mean,
He's a great person. You can really read about him, and this book wasn't written by him. It was written by an author that writes about inspiring people, but he's a great person to share. The writing in here is like, I would say 3rd grade level, you know, like super easy to read. It's only 59 pages all together. I think this is a great way to get a young person reading about something more than Peter Pan, because reading about, you know, fairy tales and stuff, that's great too, but getting young people interested in like people and politics and some other, you know, like real world events is a nice thing too. And this is a nice way to kind of start that journey for somebody that's reading beyond fantasy.
yeah, and this book would be good if you want somebody to be inspired by someone. The Rock is a good person to be
Yes.
inspired by.
I love him, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, just check him out. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on him too before we have this. I always try to watch YouTube videos about people before we read their books. And every video that I watched was just, he's an amazing person. He's a good person. I have nothing bad to say about The Rock. And we hope that you guys read this book. We hope that you read it with maybe a young boy or young man or young woman or young girl, and then share your books. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And our next book's gonna be the Common Book. Ooh, let me, I don't have it on me. Okay, I'll just post a picture about the Common Book, but it's Let Love Have the Last Word. And we're gonna read that book in 2 weeks, the part 1 and part 2, and then we'll come back and then 2 weeks after that and do part 3 and part 4. It's only 220 pages, super easy to read. He's got a great message. It's, you know, he's a God man, and I don't know, he's from the south side of Chicago. I think we got some kind of south side Chicago connection going on here. But we'll share that book with you guys in 2 weeks. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that was good. And we're under 30 minutes, that's great. You want me to share this? Yeah. I was gonna give it to Kendrick, one of these, and I'm gonna read it
I think
before,
I'll give this one to Keyshawn.
and then I'll give this to Cam after me and Torsten read it too. Cool, yeah, Keyshawn, that would be great for him. A little rebel.
Yeah.